Yeah. Yeah. It's always like people, my friends, right? They're always on Fortnite or some other video games, and uh, it's always something like we play in the IT classes. They always finish early, so we play some games online, and they always laugh at me for not being able to use a keyboard properly, and I'm like, why are you laughing at this? Like, this is just a useless skill. I should like play chess instead of playing this game with you. This is useless. Like, bro, don't get so mad. I'm not getting mad. It's just logic. And it's not also the video games, right? It's just the way they carry themselves. What about you? You're homeschooled, obviously, but you have friends. I believe you have friends. You're not that, alienated. So no, no, no. But yeah, do you see this type of behaviors in your environment? Yeah. And I think I watched a film with my family not so long ago. It's called 12 Strong. It's about a group of soldiers that got deployed to Afghanistan shortly after 9/11 attacks. And it's the general that I think it was Uzbek, but some general as Muslim, and his guiding. He's fighting the Taliban too, who was from the Northern Alliance, I believe. He was guiding them, kind of protecting those soldiers. And he said, "You don't fight like you should fight. You value your life more than the afterlife." And his soldiers uh don't know, they have different values, and the values of, yeah, and yeah, and yeah, that's basically what's happening right now, especially in your country. It's just the people are just hedonistic, blinded by the, yeah, they're blinded by the goods they are given to them in the, just the life. And it's really hard to accept that there are higher powers because of that. Because the people that think, I'm sorry, but I had to generalize the atheists. Not all of them, but a majority think that they have a control of their own life because they don't think there's a higher power above them. But it's literally the opposite. Yeah, go on. Yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah. And it's yeah, it's just like people want more. They don't have the they just don't have the fundamentals to actually build themselves. It's like you're building a pyramid and you're starting from you're not starting from, the fundaments. You're basically just starting from the top. You're basically just, not building yourself to be mentally responsible for yourself. Especially now the phobic term is just basically is just for the people to cope, fat people to cope with themselves and don't change. It's just, yeah, people are just lazy, right? Because they think they're beautiful no matter what. They're not beautiful no matter what. They need to work on themselves. And it's, yeah, this laziness is spread. The laziness is just spread all around the world with this gender that the- Jordan Peterson is fighting this. Like, it's just biology. Not all people can be attractive. It's just pure logic. So that's just this needs to be put somewhere. It needs to be clipped. Just pair of 14-year-olds just destroying the whole body positivity. Oh, yeah, it's just how it is. If all people are attractive, they are not unattractive people, and the whole point of attraction is just totally lost there, just because you made some people feel good. See, let's just not hide this, okay? The people that are feeling good because of the body positivity, this is just gonna vote for people that push that. They're just gonna vote for people that push it because what other reason? Vote, not other reason. And basically because of that, not yeah, there are other reasons such as if people are fat, they're not sorry, not for not as capable of physically. They're not capable physically as the skinny people. Yeah, it's just, yeah, emotions speak over facts these days, and just super super weird and super. You know, actually, I think people are. There is another fact that people just gotten softer because of the of phones, of TVs, supermarkets. I watched some. Yeah, all the reason is that the people cry about consequences. Like, they do cry about consequences, not actually thinking whether they're doing something. And it's when someone's doing no fap, right? It's just they fap because the urge is just too strong for them, and they regret. They're resentful. They regret. They're resentful. They're super super sad because they did it. And yeah, it's just right. It's just self-explanatory, right? Most people don't even think about the consequences, and it's not just fapping because that's just a minor thing. There's some other things that, Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, everyone had a situation in their life which just could have been avoided with the one thought, 1 second of patience. Literally, no one's ever not. If someone does something bad, it's just the people that do something bad. They obviously, if they're not evil, they think about consequences. Basically, if you beat up a guy, it hits his head on the pavement, is going to die, go to jail, or doesn't even die, but lands in a hospital. You go to jail for GBH, grievous bodily harm, and there's consequences, and there's not always the consequences that are enforced by something or someone, but it's just consequences that you feel in yourself, like being fat. You just gain fat in your body. It's not only being fat, but it's not working on yourself, having addictions. Uh, there is an element in my city. I live in Poland, East Poland, and some some even 12-year-olds. That's scary. 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds go a little edgy, as I was called this. Go a little emo, and they'd start to vape and drink and drink energy drinks. Like, damn, it's God. Yeah, the consequences. Yes. Yes. Yeah, and not only are building the pyramids from the ground up, from the fundaments up, you're basically taking away the fundaments. Hey, your parents, you yourself, your whatever, whoever built for you, you're just taking away by being cool, being yeah, and actually, uh, talking about pyramids, there is a pyramid of human needs, and fundamental human need is to be in a group and to feel included. So if you are in a group, and it's a first-hand experience because I was in a very bad friend group about 2 years ago. I was thrown in. And maybe I won't go into detail, but you get me right. And the people there were super awful, and I was just trying to I then nearly got to juvie because eventually it got to a point where to feel included, to be included, I had to do some bad things, some crime and stuff. So yeah, and there's actually someone. I'm not saying. Of course, it's not like accidental. It's not accidental. But just listen to me. Everyone needs to be included in some kind of group, small or big, and the and you just need to influence those who are influential to others. Yeah, another pyramid. Third pyramid of today. And if the people that are on the top, where people on the top are showing bad things and influencing bad things on, the other people, they're influential in the friend groups, like friend group leaders or head of families, yeah. But and it goes down to people to not leader of the friend groups or the children, and it's just spread like that amongst the 12 and 13-year-olds in my city, just spread like that. So it's terrible. It's a terrible thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. If you're aware of that, it's just a matter of time before you start seeing those things. It's not just finding those things, it's just seeing and being like, socially aware of what's actually going on. So, for example, we take yeah, you can take me for example, and those friends that to be included I had to commit crimes. It's yeah, it's one thing. It's one thing. It's yeah, it's yeah, if I knew this, my life would have been, yeah, I think a lot better. Like I know people now that truly want the best for me, and those people are. I had the one guy in the group who was a little bit older than me, super influential. God, he was I know very smart people. He was like very high IQ, very smart, and he was easy to manipulate because those people are so like arrogant and so ignorant and so egocentric that he basically was going with all the trends. Just it was against his personality. He would go all of trends. He was like super influential, also super influenced.
Yeah.
And, oh, he was just he was the first one. He was 14 years old, not 13 years old all the time. Actually, was doing some wild stuff like stealing, stealing some. I never stole anything, but he was like stealing stuff from shops and
Yeah.
it was, yeah. When I see it now, when I look at it now, it's just terrible. And people are influenced like that. He wasn't like stealing to survive,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's awful. It's
hmm
terrible,
You need
and it's the one way that
friends
influence.
with good influence. This
Yeah,
is why, you know, uh, for Muslims, you go to mosque to pray Jummah and you meet people there. It's like it's obligatory because you need to form connections with other Muslims because they're a good influence. So,
yeah,
but because if you look at Christians where they don't require that, the churches are dying and sometimes they become, lose their core values. And a lot of these people, they end up going to bad groups. And you see, that's why it's usually required for men to go to Jummah in Islam.
yeah. But that's just like people who maybe this. I would say this to like some of the topic of manipulation and spreading laziness is going a little off topic there. So I'm gonna just say if someone is influential, the sure as hell are influence. There might be good influences, there might be bad influences, and if you're socially aware of, you know, what's happening right now in the world, you
hmm
see those things.
Yeah. Uh,
And yeah, I just want to talk to you. Well, listen. I just
yeah.
want to talk to you about basically the West, especially America,
Yes. Yes.
is is just a contrast to China, basically, or
Exactly.
North
100%.
Korea. Maybe, yeah,
Because
yeah.
China, you
That
see,
they just
they don't value they try to make their people more disciplined. Like you
uh,
don't see the kind of
no,
degeneracy.
they really. Maybe it's a socialist country, maybe a communist and all of that. But it's more of a they just trying to make their people perfect, the best version of themselves. So
Yeah.
learning things in school, they are actually useful.
Yeah.
They are learning,
Uh
teaching. Oh my god, teaching kids at school that kids are learning. I was oh my god. But yeah, they're teaching kids in school basically. The kids are learning something useful.
yeah.
They're not showing kids some wild stuff. They don't have drag queens all of a sudden.
Yeah.
People don't feel certain ways. In
Mhm.
China, no, there's just the agenda is pushed by USA.
Yeah,
There's
and
not
it's
there are no drag queen shows in China.
yeah.
You can't find any of those.
And it's kind of
So
interesting how, despite these efforts, if you look at China right now, you can see the government is actually sort of collapsing because they like went super hard on COVID, but then it failed massively, and you see what's happening there. So it's kind of interesting that.
yeah, yeah. It's just
Mhm.
well, it's not only that people are just. I think they're disappointed because the
Yeah,
idea of communism is always
communism
too
never worked.
pushed too far away.
Yeah.
It's just from the Jordan Peterson in his book 12 Rules for Life is just saying about French
Mhm. Yeah, French
capitalistic,
Revolution. Yeah.
yeah, scientists
Mhm.
just
The
love communism all of a sudden,
yeah.
right? And communism, especially in the Soviet Republic, is just caused so many. Yeah, basically 6 million Ukrainians died. They started.
Mhm.
Russian government started. Soviet government. I'm sorry. She basically. I don't know. I think it was. Oh, I don't know who was the president or whatever. But they started just laying posters everywhere to
Mhm.
not eat your own children. Or eating your own children is a sin or something. It
Yeah.
was horrible, and it's all because they wanted to. Uh,
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson talked about, and it wasn't even his book. It was some those 20 more shit. Sorry, 20 successful people
Mhm.
in one village. There was other, let's say 200 or 100. They want those successful people's places, money, and it comes a politician and says the 20 successful people are bad because they ruined the harmony and the you know just says some bad stuff about them, gives a
Yeah.
reason to those 100 or 200 people that want bad for the
Mhm.
successful people. They
So
come.
I think that
It was like listen, the rich farmers in USSR. It was
yeah.
literally the same. It was yeah. It was literally the same situation with them. They killed the rich farmers, and it
Oh
all
yeah,
collapsed.
kulaks. Yeah, they killed them and they thought it
Yeah.
would make them better somehow despite killing the most successful people in their sort of, profession.
Yes.
It's like how
Yes.
Stalin, he killed some of his best generals out of paranoia, and now he's surprised when his army fails horribly, you know?
And also, listen. It's now the analogy to what is going on right now. The
Yeah.
people that are fat phobic or
Mhm.
just work out for, I quote, strictly appearance based reasons
Uh,
have been called fat phobic just because they don't want to be fat, which is understandable. And just, why would you not want to be fit and look good? Like, that's just,
yeah. It reminds me.
they're just illogical. But they're just votes. There's basically just people wanting to crowd to follow them and just well, well, you know what I mean.
Yes, I know. So I think it's safe to
To
say
get
that
votes,
neither
basically.
America nor China are good examples of how a society should be, right? So
Yeah, there's just two contrasts.
now, uh,
There's two opposites. Yeah, two opposites.
two
Just
opposites, but they're both bad in their own ways. So now this brings us to the question: how can we solve this? What is the ideal sort of society, and how can we prepare youth? You know. So
well, we don't have. I only could imagine if what would happen that if we could, if many people could hear us, because we have like 30 subscribers or something.
Yeah,
And
30
it's
subs.
horrible. And it's horrible because we are basically fed with all the Hamza videos and all of the information that is not pushed
Hmm.
by anyone. We just know this, or we just read books. We
Hmm.
know, we are aware, and
Yeah, and it's kind
it's a
of
shame that we
insane.
can't just, yeah.
How are
Wait, let me
these?
finish. Let me finish. Come on, come on. And
Oh,
it's just, it's bad. It's so it makes me sad that
yeah.
we're just talking to what 30 people.
I mean,
It's sad.
the thing is, it's so odd that you have this unlimited supply of information available to basically everyone in the country, and yet barely any of these people take advantage of that. They get absorbed into these addiction like social medias instead of trying to find truth with all the information they have, you know?
Yeah.
You can only get truth if you seek for it.
Well, some people are pushed so far that they don't want to seek truth because lies make them feel good.
Oh, yeah.
And the real people that seek real truth are
Hmm.
just showed in a bad, bad light. It's, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a wild mechanism
Yeah.
of propaganda. Yeah, it's
You.
just com- it's well, it's sad. I think that's sad. Yeah,
Hmm.
but yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's sad because these people, they want to live a lie, but even if they know the truth, but trying to escape the truth only makes things worse. Because instead of trying to recognize the problem and tackle it to make your life better, they meander in delusion until eventually something happens, you know? Like the SJWs now, they're completely delusional, ungrounded, but it's only a matter of time until their whole ideology comes crashing down because it's so illogical, you know?
Yeah.
If you just take an objective look at it, you can see it's insane. Uh, I
And
think.
you know what? You know what? I just thought about that when you actually just mentioned the ideology.
Mhm.
All of those teens that went emo and went, a little bit alcoholic and stuff. You know what? I support. They don't support right wing, not supporting churches.
Yeah.
They're not doing that. They, instead of supporting any of bad influences, right?
Yeah.
Right wing is bad. So of course right wing is not bad, but
Yeah.
okay.
But it's their point of
And
view.
yeah, it's just they are just supporting LGBTQ. They all have
Stop
those,
that.
yeah, rainbow bags and rainbow flowers in the
Mm.
bedrooms, and they're all trans all of a sudden.
Do people
They're not
not?
changing any of the ways, they're just trans.
Yeah,
They're not even cutting their hair short.
they don't know the story of Lut alayhi salam, or Lot in Christianity, where he was sent to a people, and they were all gay, and they liked doing adultery. So when Lut alayhi salam he came with the message, they rejected him, wanted to continue living their lie, and eventually their town got destroyed. So yeah, more people need to see. Why is it bad? It's because it's not productive in the slightest to uh, worship these unnatural desires. You need family and reproduce. That's the proper way God intended us for do it. And seeing these people misappropriate that, it's very heartbreaking. Like
Yeah, I had a debate one time. I think it
oh
was before Ramadan on
oh
the one of the Discord servers because I like wasting time and trolling feminists, but
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not like
Mhm.
trolling and saying Andrew Tate is a god. No, I'm not saying that. I
No.
basically ask them questions and they
Yeah.
fail,
That
and they
is.
fail. Oh, listen, because that is just
Mhm.
another good example of basically not seeking truth.
Yeah.
Ask them one question:
Mhm.
if we have a choice, if women had a choice, not carry children, not reproduce, basically just not be able to reproduce, even biologically,
Yeah.
where would the children come from? It's
Hmm.
always a sort of pain and responsibility for the woman and for the man also, but for the women.
Yeah.
Okay, we just call them women. So yeah,
So
and
many people,
yeah, some.
they have this
Yeah, listen,
misconception.
listen. Okay, listen,
Yeah.
listen, listen.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but it's a delay because I'm in Poland, you're in America, and it's also lagging because I'm in the woods right now.
Mhm.
But yeah, and I asked them this one question, and they also like, oh well, some people might want to reproduce, but this isn't, this isn't, what, this is not what, I need to quote,
Yeah.
this isn't logical to reproduce or something. It's not optimal to reproduce. It was
Mhm.
something like that. I was like, literally, I laughed.
Yes.
Literally in real life, I laughed at it,
You know.
and and I replied to them, and I replied, I said, how is that not optimal? It's basically, uh, you're literally enabling your kind to continue. And I said,
Yes.
well, it's not optimal because it's forcing some sort of agenda. Yeah,
Nah.
they call this agenda. I'm like, this is biology, not agenda. And they
Yes.
said, yeah,
Because.
but if I say that homosexuality is is like, I don't know, it's what was it? Homosexuality is biological too because it, it's biology because some animals do it and Greeks done it, and
Nah, nah.
I'm like,
These
okay, but
people, they
we
don't
are way more
understand.
advanced. And we have religions, we have
Yes.
morality, right? We have
Yeah.
values.
They don't
And they're like,
understand
well,
just
and
because
just start,
animals do it.
when they start to,
Yeah, they think it's natural
sorry, man,
because
I
animals
know
do it,
you're, yeah,
but it's not. Because nature,
yeah,
what it
and
is
yeah, the only thing,
the
god
continuing of
damn it,
life, you know?
it's laggy,
Oh, right, right, lag.
yeah,
Uh,
but it's lagging. I know you're talking about, what are you talking? I need to get out of the woods.
oh,
But
right.
just before something might happen, I want to talk about those debates I have, because people, when they don't have the arguments, they start to insult me. They
Oh,
act very childish. Like, what?
yeah.
Yeah, they
I,
start to insult me and just laugh at me.
yeah, I can relate to
That's
that
not the
because
weapon in the arsenal, I think.
I remember there was a thing where I saw some guy, he raised a very valid point and the other person just raged at him. And I just said, like, some people, they just never learn that raging is not how you win an argument. You can't convince people by just
Yeah,
showing
especially
rage.
through Discord, you can't punch them in the face. You can't punch people in the face through Discord.
Because
So it's just
showing you're angry, it does not convince
showing
anyone.
a
Uh,
point, right?
you need to appeal to, like, rhetoric. I have learned this in English class. One thing useful in school, they teach you need to appeal to logos, ethos,
Yeah.
pathos. And being angry, disrespecting your audience is like the number one thing they teach you not to do. If you disrespect your audience, then it really hurts your argument, like completely.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That it's not always just,
Mhm.
but because that people just don't want that, they don't want to. see
Mhm.
that they are losing the argument. I just want to feel good because in their eyes they just defended
Yeah.
their ideology, right? So
Mhm.
in their eyes, they're still the good people. They're
Yeah.
still winning, but they're
Yeah.
not
The
winning.
one of the
And
most.
it's another example of not taking responsibility is
Yes.
that
Uh, there's
they're not able to see the
something
responsibility they're
like
carrying with the words.
everybody who is evil, every evil person, they all think they are always good. A truly good person views them as just a person. They're capable of doing good and bad, and they need to make sure they're on the right path. You know? Because evil people, they think everything they're doing is good. But good people, actually
Yeah,
good, they try to do good by following the right path. If they mess up, repent, try to go to the right path, you know?
yeah, try to return.
Yes.
But they're people, they're just, I think, the average person that supports this and is
Mhm.
manipulated by this and influenced by this.
Yes.
Literally, maybe not, maybe it's through majority, okay, not all of them. The average person that supports LGBTQ and all of that is super, super ignorant.
Yes.
They don't care if some people, the right wing, right,
Mhm.
just want to support their religion and
Yes.
being homophobic, not excluding anyone because you're not. If you're not beating gay people up in the streets, basically not doing any harm. If you, bro, what? But basically, if you're on the other side and you're basically shouting "How Satan" at
Oh,
peaceful
astaghfirullah.
protests,
Mm. You know,
Catholic protests. y-
Catholics.
Yeah, but literally, I've seen a video of someone shouting "Hail Satan" in front of the
La
church.
ilaha
It
illallah.
was horrible because it's just showing. Yeah, it's
Mm.
terrible. Showing the hypocrisy, the ignorant. Yeah, yeah, it's just everything that I've told many
Yeah.
people. It's just like do whatever you want, but don't insult the other side because there is
Yes.
always the opposite of
Yes.
what you're doing.
Because
That
everybody who
is
opposes
it.
you, they're not some boogeyman devil or something. They came to that conclusion through experiences they had. It's important to humanize the other side, you know? Far too many people, they view
Yeah,
them as a blank enemy, uh, but that's not how you should view
yeah,
things.
enemy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the trans women, the men, male to female, trans people.
I always get confused by the
I've
term.
seen like protests in Canada when counter protesters got like maybe not beat up but pushed.
Oh.
And yeah, the police did nothing. They just stood there basically.
Yeah,
So
like
the question
Chaz.
is,
Remember the people, they straight up
why
revolted
wait,
against the
listen?
US
Why
government.
why?
And when they revolted against the US government, the people, the government just did nothing. Like, how do you expect this society to function if you can straight up revolt against the government and they do nothing? You know, it's insane. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, continue because you speak just true words there. So I'ma just listen, okay?
All right.
I'm just listen. You continue.
Yeah. So, the thing is that far too many people, they get stuck in a mindset of thinking, oh, the enemy is bad always. But you see, the problem is that uh, these people, they fail to realize, you know, how they came there. And that is why in arguments, you're supposed to sympathize with the other side, at least, you know, understand where they came from. Because if you just rage, you're not convincing anyone. You're not convincing anyone if you rage. And the people don't understand that. They want to boost their ego, they want to make themselves
Yeah, they
feel
want to.
good
Yeah, not
instead
seem
of.
players. If it's their own ideology, they're not team players. They don't think to.
Yeah.
They don't want to show their own ideology in the good light.
Mm-hmm.
They want everything to be evil, to be bad, because Satan is bad.
Yes,
Why are
100%.
we good? Yeah, good though is the uh new youths, new wave, new style of thinking. The I don't know
New
the
Wave is
people.
just people
The
who want to be religious, but when you say
being
God,
evil and sin, and there's being evil and there's sin, and I don't know. It's not good to basically. It's not good to sin. Everyone knows that.
yes.
I
But
was
these,
shouting
in
out
this
Satan.
atheist sort of worldview, there is no objective definition of what is a sin and what isn't. So they just try to
Yeah,
worship their
yeah,
desires, thinking they're doing so good when they have no idea what is sin, what isn't.
yeah, and that's why they are what they are, and that's what makes the people soft. Is gratification, the desires that
Mm-hmm.
are fulfilled, no matter the consequences. Yeah,
Yeah. People, they need to have some higher purpose, some higher value than the worldly uh, indulgences, because when they do that, you know, they don't value any sort of greater morality. They only value themselves, which is obviously a very bad thing, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
So soft people, the my friends at school, people from Discord, the drag queens pushing the counter protesters, uh, just come. Well, god damn it, comes to one thing. Basically, it's rather just a just a show, just a demonstration of what you can become if you don't follow the right path, if you're not
Yeah.
aware, if you're not
Yes. Everybody
basically if you're not
thinks.
just decent, if
Yeah.
you're just not decent, right?
Yeah.
If you just gave in once, if you gave in once in your life, you you sure it experience what what are the consequences.
Yes. Too
What the
many
consequences
people,
are. I'm sorry, I'm
they
super
think
lightheaded. I don't know what that is,
uh,
but
so many people, they think that pain equals bad, pleasure equals good, when quite frankly, it's quite the opposite. Pleasure, too much of it, it can make you, you know, uh,
soft.
docile, whereas enduring hardship, it grows your character, just because you're not given in this world what you want, that doesn't mean you're hated or anything. In fact, it could probably mean quite the opposite.
So yeah, we're just gonna end right now.
Yeah.
Before we're gonna end, uh, I'm gonna just say one thing. Just check out our server.
Yeah.
It's in the description, I believe. And also, it's the second episode, which we are just two people, just the two of us.
Yeah.
We couldn't invite any guests.
We had
We
a
are
guest,
deeply,
but he
yeah, we
wasn't online,
apologize.
and we were kind of
Yeah.
short on time, so we had to do this ourselves, sadly. But if you're watching this
So
guest,
we apologize for lack of guests. Yeah,
yeah,
and yeah, see you. We
yeah,
we hope to post next Tuesday. Sorry for the wait to all of the people
yes.
that
I
were
was
waiting
taking a
in our
break
podcast.
for Ramadan, but now that's over. I hope we can continue to make more episodes in the future, inshallah.
Yeah, and God help us
Hmm.
spread the word And once again, cheese. Just be decent, be good.
Yes, that's the message. Bye.